Israel seizes ship. Says Iran weapons aboard. Israeli commandos seized the ship on Wednesday, but defense officials said was carrying hundreds of tons of weapons from Iran, bound for Lebanon's Hezbollah guerrillas, the largest arms shipment Israel has ever seized. The Israeli military said an Iranian document was found on board, showing that the arms shipment originated from that country, although the paper was not shown to reporters. The deputy Israeli Navy commander said that despite its size, the shipment of weapons was a drop in the ocean of arms being shipped to Hezbollah. It's a cargo certificate that shows that it was from a port in Iran. A military spokeswoman said, all the cargo certificates are stamped at the ports of origin, and this one was stamped at an Iranian port. The Israelis boarded the ship before dawn in the waters near Cyprus. Israel has long accused Iran of arming its enemies. In a briefing, it was said that there were hundreds of tons of weapons on the ship, giving a much higher estimate than an earlier one of more than 60 tons. Containers had Iranian shipping codes in English, IRISL, on one side, and IR Iranian Shipping Lines Group on the other. Some of the hundreds of crates lined up on the dock were open, revealing dark green missiles with English language designations painted in black. But hours after the seizure, Israel had not provided proof that the arms were meant for the Lebanese guerrillas, allegedly loaded in Egypt. Israeli military officials said the ship's journey started in Iran, and it arrived a week ago in Beirut. The next stop was in Egypt, where the weapons were loaded, they said. The ship was supposedly headed for Syria. In Tehran, Syria's foreign minister dismissed Israeli allegations that the ship was carrying arms. Unfortunately, some pirates sometimes take action in the name of inspection and prevent the sailing of commercial ships. He was quoted as saying by the state IRNA news agency during a visit. This ship was carrying goods from Syria, heading to Iran, and was not carrying weapons, making materials. It was unclear why he said the ship was headed in the opposite direction of that claimed by Israel. Syrian officials were not immediately available for comment in Damascus. Iran and Syria are close allies and Hezbollah's principal backers. Israel accuses Syria and Iran of supplying Hezbollah with weapons using air, sea, and land routes. If true, Israel's claim would bolster allegations that Syria has been complicit in getting weapons to Hezbollah. An Egyptian government official said it was illogical to think that Egypt is shipping weapons to Hezbollah. The official, who could not be named because he was not authorized to discuss the case with the media, could not confirm or deny that the ship had entered Egyptian ports. But he said it is not possible to search every ship that enters Egypt's ports. Egypt's relations with Hezbollah have been strained following the arrest in April of 26 people suspected of working for the group. The group is on trial in Cairo, accused of spying for a foreign group, planning attacks against tourists and shipping in the Suez Canal, and sending operatives to Gaza to help militant groups there. In the southern port Israeli city of Ashdod, where the ship was towed and docked, hundreds of rockets and piles of boxes of grenades were stacked on the shore as Israeli forces unloaded the cargo, a process that was expected to take some hours. There were Katyusha rockets, whose purpose is to hit civilians, said the Deputy Defense Minister of Israel. Asked if the weaponry had been earmarked for Hezbollah, he said yes, it strengthens the group and improves its long-range firing capability into Israel. Israel and Hezbollah fought a bitter war in the summer of 2006 that ended with a United Nations brokered ceasefire, but occasional flare-ups occur. Wednesday's seizure was bigger than a similar haul in 2002, when Israeli military seized a vessel with 50 tons of missiles, mortars, rifles, and ammunition headed for Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip. The presence of Iranian proxies in the Mideast have combined with worries over Tehran's nuclear program and arsenal of long-range missiles to make Iran the Jewish state's most formidable foe. Israel shares the West's fears that Tehran is developing nuclear weapons, despite its assertions to the contrary. Neutralizing the Iranian nuclear threat remains the Israeli Prime Minister's top priority, and Israel has not ruled out a military strike against Tehran's nuclear faculties. Based on intelligence reports, a naval unit patrolling the area intercepted and boarded the vessel without incident, defense officials have said. The Deputy Defense Minister said the crew was not aware of the cargo's contents. The ship, the Farankop, is operated by United Feeder Services, a Cyprus-based shipping company that said it picked up the cargo in Egypt. An employee of the company's chartering department, who would not identify himself, said the ship had been bound from Egypt to Cyprus, and from there to Lebanon and Turkey. He said the company did not know what was inside the containers, or where the cargo originated. A senior Lebanese army official refused to comment on the Israeli report, saying it happened outside Lebanon's national waters. A Hezbollah official said, on condition of anonymity, because he did not want to speak publicly to the media, said the Islamist movement had no comment on Israel's claim. The Israeli Defense Minister Barak called the interception another success against the relentless attempts to smuggle weapons to bolster terrorist elements threatening Israel's security. The arms supply was theoretically intended to hit Israeli cities. The Lebanon-Israeli border has been largely quiet since the 2006 Israel-Hezbollah war, although Israel has long warned that Hezbollah fighters have been rearming and now possess some 40,000 rockets. The situation is becoming more and more complex because the weapons they are acquiring are more and more dangerous to civilian targets in Israel. The bombs and the missiles just keep getting bigger and bigger and more potent. Once again, there's something much more going on here. And the Israelis could use this as a case for attacking Iran sometime in the future, attacking their nuclear faculties. It couldn't be that way. It could happen that way. This is only stoking more tensions in the Middle East, ratcheting up tensions. And these are more signs of the end times, transition days. The transition is an ongoing, continuing process. It's happening daily, all around the world, and there are many signs.